Hi and welcome back. What we are going to be making today is, well, I should say we're not making today, but we are prepping today, is fried chicken. What we're going to do is we're going to separate the drum from the thigh. So what you want to do is you want to hold it upright. You can kind of see from the back tendon, if you push the skin down a little bit, and you can feel with your finger, right where that tendon is right where the bone is. So you're going to hold it upright, and you're going to cut just to make a little slice, and then what you're going to do is pop it back and you can actually see that bone. So I'm going to actually just cut through that tendon and cut on either side of the bone, and there you have it. Now I have the thigh and I have the drum. So we have all of our thighs and drums separated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dredge them in buttermilk. So what I'm going to add to that, and actually pre-measured all my rest of my ingredients, is I have about a half a teaspoon of celery seed. I have a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I have a half teaspoon of paprika. I have a full teaspoon of garlic powder and a full teaspoon of onion powder. And then I have salt and then some pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my buttermilk, because we're going to mix this up. We're going to pour it over the chicken, and we are going to let it sit overnight. We're going to go ahead and dump that all on our chicken, and you basically want the chicken submerged in the buttermilk. So you're going to get your hands dirty one more time. You want to just kind of press down the chicken, make sure the buttermilk is all evenly coated in there. What we are going to start doing is we have our chicken out of the fridge. We're going to get ready to start frying it up. So what I did, you can do it in a plastic bowl or a container if you want. I choose to do mine in a plastic bag. And what we have here is we have salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. We're going to always season our flour, mix it up, and just kind of get it all in there, and then put it in the bag. I'm going to do 2 of these, and maybe 3. Okay. Make sure you have a paper towel or something to wash off your hand. Close it up, and then just shake it around, getting the flour all coated evenly on the chicken. Kind of want to dust off the remaining flour. So there we have our piece of chicken. If you like your batter extra crispy, you could actually double dip it back into the buttermilk and into the flour mixture again. But we're just going to do ours regular here. You want to make sure you have your oil up to 350 degrees. And you want to make sure you use or purchase, if you don't have one already, a candy thermometer. So you can kind of see, you see it on the chart here, my oil is actually pushing 375. So I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit and let that sit. Because I don't want to put the chicken in right now if it's at 375. It really should be between 340 and 350 if you're going to cook chicken. So that way it keeps a nice even coat and it doesn't burn the batter and not cook the chicken. So our oil is nice and hot. It's sitting at a nice 350 degrees. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to gently put the chicken in the oil. If you're afraid to put it in with your fingers, obviously you're not going to touch your fingers in the oil, but use some tongs. But you definitely don't want to throw it in there. Don't get afraid and just, you know, and flop it in there, because if you burn yourself, this oil is super hot. So to test the oil, obviously I have a candy thermometer, and it goes up to 410 degrees. But what you want to do is just lay your chicken in and then just let it go. And while the chicken's setting up and cooking, you want to go ahead and prepare yourself for when the chicken comes out. So I always keep mine right next to where I'm frying. So you can see I have my sheet pan and I have my wire wraps over it. So that way, when I take the chicken out, it'll drain off the excess grease. You could also put it on a plate with some paper towels as well. Alright, so we just took our chicken out. We have it cooling on the rack. I don't know if you can see that in the background. We are now going to fry up some of these thighs. So again, the oil is still piping hot. Put that in nice and easy. You want to wait about a couple of seconds before you throw your next piece in. And this helps so that you don't overcrowd the pan and that it doesn't stick together to the other piece. If you overcrowd while cooking, your oil temperature will go down, and then you won't get a nice even cook, and then you'll end up just absorbing a lot of the oil rather than frying it. While that's cooking, you want to go ahead and make sure, if you don't leave your thermometer in there, you want to constantly keep checking to ensure that you're holding a 350-degree temperature. Okay. While you're cooking your thighs, you want to go ahead, now that the grease has had time to drain on your legs that you've done, you want to go ahead and take a meat thermometer and make sure that each piece, and you can see it in the camera because of the glare, there we go. You want to make sure each piece is at a minimum of 165 degrees. Thighs and legs, you can do like 170, and that's just about where mine's reaching now, or even 175. You don't want to see any pinkness around your meat, and especially anytime you're cooking with meat and it's still on the bone, it tends to stay a little pinker. And don't get confused pink with dark meat, because the thighs will have dark meat, so it'll appear pinkish. But so these look good. So I'm going to go ahead and check the other two to make sure we're at a good temperature. Okay, so our thighs are out of the oven, out of the oil, and you can see they're very good. Let's see if you can see the temperature on that. Good, 170 right on the button. And I did deep fry these and double dip them twice. So you can kind of see the difference between one coat on the drums and then 2 coats on the batter.